Howdy ho, Lions fans. Welcome to the Detroit Lions podcast, episode 547, the official Detroit Lions podcast for Reddit. Another post-game victory celebration, as we said it would be. I don't know why you folks don't trust. We knew it would be there, never a doubt. We're doing it live. I'm your host, Chris. With me is my good friend and co-host, Ash. Mr. Tweetson, how are you doing, my friend?
Not too shabby. Night started off a little rough. You know, it was not a great beginning to this. Probably kind of a crap ass middle, also. But in the end, that's all that matters. Master Bates came through.
Bates said he's done laying bricks in Texas. No way he was gonna miss. Damn right. Straight up. This is freaking awesome. Boy, this is a good victory. This is a really good victory today. We're going to talk about today's game. We're going to cover Coach Campbell's post-game presser. We're going to do a roundtable talk. We'll take your calls, and I'd like to dedicate this show and this victory to my uncle who passed earlier today, one of the nicest human beings on the face of the earth. And not gonna ride that or talk too much about it, but he comes from a line in the family of very, very good people. So love you, brother, and I know you're in a better place than here. And the Lions did it all for you today, and we're doing it for you too. All right, we got all that going on. Great show lined up. Ash, are you ready to go, my man?
Let's get rocked.
Let's kick this off and break it down.
All right. Sorry with the early downer. I wanted to cover it, and then we're out of the way. We'll move on. We had a great victory. Traveling man, thank you, sir. And I will say, sir, because you are a traveling man, for the super chat. I said that for a second. I was like, oh, I called him sir. And that's it. Okay, got it. And Jarrett Burton with an erection that expands all the way to Houston. It's time for re-entry, my friend. It is time for re-entry. We had a great game out there, man. This is one that tested the mettle of this team, of fans, of the social media team for the Lions. They had no idea what the hell to do. And the one question I haven't seen it mentioned anywhere. Is there something wrong with Goff's hand? Because there was a lot of, like, the first couple in the tournament, he's thrown it away. But there was a lot of ducks. There's just, this is not,
there was one where his hand got hit.
Yeah.
You know, like on that, there were so many, I can't remember if it was the second or third interception, but it basically just got hit out of his hand into the air. Like, that's potentially, And like you said, there were so many ducks today. Like, you could hear the quacking all the way in Michigan from Texas.
Traveling man says, my PTSD may have been cured. I never actually gave up hope. Brother, congratulations to you, man. That's awesome stuff. Absolute worst game. We still win. Ugly ass game, but Bates for the win. Michelle, I see you're here. If you get a chance, go ahead and lay out the Hims Rock Hard Player of the Game for us. We'd appreciate that. Michelle Cox always gives us the Rock Hard Player of the Game. Tim Stein, every ball was a wobbler. I'm hoping we're getting ready for a victorious gobbler, but we'll see. Okay. We will monitor for the post-game interviews from the team. We always have those for you as soon as Campbell's up, and we're going to hear from Goff. So I'm interested. Hopefully there will be some questions from the media about the fitness of his hand and what's going on there. Ash, I'd love to hear your take. I'd love to hear you kind of walk through your takeaways from the game and some of the big themes that you have in your galaxy brain about what happened tonight.
Honestly, man, like the first half of this game, it was like we were trapped in 2021. Again, just having one of those like nightmares where just everything that could possibly go wrong was going wrong for the first half of this game. And it really, like, Carlton Davis saved this game personally. That guy himself, you know, like with those two picks, like consecutive drives, basically. Like he flipped it, and that's a testament to the kind of guy that Brad Holmes was trying to bring in when he traded picks to get that guy in the offseason. It's he's been one of their best defensive players, but because he's not, you know, on the top of the leaderboard for interceptions in the league, there hasn't really been as much hype going kind of towards him. And he showed up today and he got the job done. And man, did they need it. Like they desperately needed something at that point in the game. And it was kind of funny, like cool TV moment where, the coach is on camera talking about how, we need to get some interceptions. And the guy goes up and just,
Yeah.
fuck. There we
that
go.
was fortuitous. That wasn't real. Coach was not actually talking at that time, folks. If you believe that, then you missed a little bit of TV magic there, but it still came off just right,
Yep. It never syncs up that nicely, and it was just nice to see. And I mean, beyond that, I mean, this team doesn't quit. That's what we learned again today for the, what is it, 60th time under Dan Campbell at this point.
Yeah.
That this team is never going to quit. And the other thing is, I was thinking, like, as the game was going on from the other side, how many times have we been the team on the other end of that, where the other team just keeps screwing up constantly, and we just could never put them away?
Yeah.
Like we get the ball in the red zone and it's a 3-and-out for a field goal, and you're like, oh, okay, no big deal, and then the second time you get the ball in the red zone, it's a 3-and-out for a field goal, and you're like, oh man, they got to do better than that. And then the third time that happens, you're like, oh god, we're gonna lose this game. We should be up by 35 points right now, and we're only up by 10.
And the watch is setting off heart alarms, right? It's like, wait, no, just change. Oh, yeah. How do I change that notification to just be the Lions are on again, right? Like, stop with like you're dying in your living room.
Have a calendar event that shuts all that off. Yeah. I don't want you to check my blood sugar. I don't want you to check my blood alcohol content. I don't want you to look at my heart rate. Let's also leave what my brain is doing alone at that point in the day.
Yeah. None of this is good for anybody. We know that. We've made a choice.
Yep.
Barry, give the defense the credit that carried the team. Thank you for the super chat, by the way, when the team needed it. Absolutely. Defense and kicker wins for the Lions. Who knew? I will say also about the Goff thing. I've been kind of sitting on this a little bit, but he hasn't been great in the last couple of games. Like, his stats, like, he hasn't given up the ball.
Yeah.
Not today. He gave up the ball. Like, we didn't need it though. He was just like, hey, this is one of those ones where we're going to give you guys the ball and let you have a shot and let you feel good for a while, but we're going to break you down systematically and end the game and put you in tears. But to give up 5 picks today like that is not Jared Goff. But his yardage, I mean, I don't think he's cracked 200 yards in like 3 games, right?
No.
The picks today are a lot more alarming.
I'll take the other style every time.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see what happens here. I'm interested to see what's going on with Goff. I want to see the post-game interview with him. I hope he takes the podium, because it's something. I don't know if his hand's hurt. I don't know what's going on, but something is happening there.
Yeah, that in 2021, that would have been exactly what we expected, and we have gone well beyond that with Jared Goff on that front. This is like he more than doubled his season total of interceptions today.
Yeah,
crazy? This is an uncharacteristic game.
Loretto,
I was making jokes when he had 3. Oh no, sorry, I was just making jokes in the Slack when he had 3. I was like, okay, he's only 5 offset in the record, and then he threw a couple more, and I was like, oh. No, let's not beat Ty Detmer's record. That's one all-time Lions record. I think we can all agree should just stay in the book forever.
I think this is the first win over the Texans since Joey Harrington was the quarterback. I'm not certain of that, but I think so. Loretto, the OL depth is not as good as I thought, for sure. We got the Hims player here from Michelle. Thank you, Michelle Cox. Obvious Hims player is Bates, also Davis, Sewell, McNeil, and Branch. Yeah, they were all top of their game. I hope McNeil's jaw is okay. Hutchinson's Hog, fantastic name. This is why somebody like that would choose to be a member of our YouTube channel. Is it time to start talking about being legit, baby? We're past time. Yeah, and lastly, another super chat. Would Jamarco have been better choice at left tackle tonight? Skip had a rough day all the way. He did, but I don't think he did. But they gave Skip a lot of help. And I don't think that Skip is the reason that offense was not firing. I mean, we couldn't get runs, we couldn't get passes, we couldn't get everything. This was one of those games where it felt like everybody was having a bad day at the same time. And this happens to teams. Yep. This happens to really good teams that go on to win the Super Bowl. Players, like a group of players that you count on, have a bad day for whatever reason. If there's something in the chicken, or they just had, something's off, whatever. this was that day for the Lions. And the fact that the defense held together and pulled them through, and Jake Bates, man, cannot say enough. I know there's somebody that sat with his family today, or I know somebody that sat with his family today and is going down to hang out with some players tonight. A Slack member, lucky mofo, and I am really excited for him. What a great time to be there on the Bates dime. Yep. And hanging out and having a good time. That's just fantastic. I hope he enjoys the hell out of that, because this is like, I don't want to say it's the best game of Bates's career, but it is so far. No question about that.
Yeah, it's the great story, and I mean, we all know it, you know what I mean? But it's like they make stupid Disney, or they did in the 90s anyway, they made stupid Disney movies about crap like this, where some guy's just, selling bricks, and then he gets the call from some team to come try out as a kicker. Okay, yeah, well, whatever. I used to kick in high school. I kicked some field goals, 15.
Played soccer.
like this would be a Tony Danza movie,
God.
Was he a garbage man in that one? Garbage
Hallmark.
picking, field goal kicking.
It would be a Tony Danza Hallmark movie, man, for sure. Oh my God, you nailed it.
Yeah, like that is the story of this guy's life, and he came in today and just crushed it.
Yeah, congrats to him, man. Well deserved, and frankly, I love a story like that. I absolutely love a story like that. Hey, thank you, everyone. Thanks for the condolences. Appreciate you. You're very kind. Man, Bates, and so the other thing about Bates is, he's caused. My wife, I think, said it best. I'm always terrified when he kicks the ball. I don't care if it's from 2 yards or 2,000 yards. It's always an adventure to watch that thing go. Yeah. And I don't know. I just felt like he had it tonight. Even that kick at the end of the game. If those who were on the tweeter machine that kind of watch that stuff, they saw I had that tweet lined up, and I just waited till it finally he kicked it through. It was Fred Sanford grabbing at his chest, and I was like, "I'm coming to see you, Elizabeth. Lions win!" Right? I knew he had that. It was in my. I just felt it in my soul. Then we were doing a post game show, and whenever we do those, they win. Yeah. So
exactly. 100% of the time, it works every time.
So far. Now, just so folks know, the next Lions loss is likely going to be on Thanksgiving, because we won't be doing a post game show then. Sorry. So you check it off. But it's not the first time they've lost, and you felt a loss on Thanksgiving. So you know how to handle this. You're all right. Daniel Deganius, I hope I got that right. What a game. Hello from the Yukon. Hey, Heidi Ho, my Yukon friend. Nice to hear from you. Thank you, Daniel, for the super chat.
It's Dagenet.
Oh, there. That's where Ash comes in with the clutch. He's our Jake Bates on this show. Ugly win, better than a glorious loss. And Jake Bates just said, "How do you like me now?" Slew Shark, thank you, sir, for the super chat. That is 100% right. How do you like me now? Sorry, I'm feeling it tonight. I'm feeling this victory in my soul, in my bones.
Yeah, man, it's just crazy. Like they didn't score a point in the second half. You know what I mean? Like, so awful in the first half. Everything was awful. And then, like, it literally is the tale of two halves. Like it's 0 points, not a field goal, nothing.
Yeah.
In the second half. Or this is a Lions loss. And the defense stepped up when the highly vaunted, one of the top offenses in the league, couldn't get it done today, bluntly. And they couldn't. Yeah, the D stepped up, and like Joe Mixon, man, 25 carries for 46 yards, and like this is a good player, and maybe the Texans' offensive line isn't the best one, but it's that's still an impressive feat to limit a guy that they were obviously betting on performing that well to under 2 yards per carry.
Yeah, 100%, man. And this is one of the things where the Detroit Lions said to the Houston Texans, "The smartest bone in your body is mine." And they just took this game from the start to the finish and never gave up. Or was it the grittiest bone in your body is mine? That's a little less comfortable, but they took this thing from end to end. And I just, as a Lions fan, I felt okay this time for some reason. My wife was really nervous. She was like, there was a couple times she screamed. The cats were both hit the ceiling, took off, right? Just during the game but I was just like, why? Don't get so mad. It's okay. We just got to score a touchdown here. How can we need 2 touchdowns here, right? For some reason, I was in a different spot. I was on I was a Zen diagram is what I was, baby. I did not freak out. Now at the end, my heart did start getting a little pumpity pumps. My chest got a little bit tight, but they did it. They did what they needed to do. This was a team that Brian Branch had a fantastic game. Fantastic again, man. We had Amon-Ra came up. Amon-Ra was interesting. He came up clutch when he needed him, but there was balls that were off his hands that he didn't hold on to, which was surprising. Yep. Right? It wasn't an Amon-Ra-ish game. J-Mo had a couple of clutch catches, but also wasn't like I think that long ball, I feel like he ran too far outside on the route and gave up the position for the interception. I think he was off his route. I don't know. You can't really know, but something wasn't right there.
It's almost always the receiver when there is a miscommunication like that. Like there's just almost always something that the receiver did not do properly. But if Goff's got a hand issue, that would show up more on the deep balls too. So like you said, we don't really know. We weren't in the room. We haven't seen it drawn up on the board. We don't know what he was supposed to do there. We know he was open outside.
Yes,
but I've said 1,000 times, J-Mo loves nothing more than to run to daylight no matter what the design of the play is. That's one of the issues that they have with him is sometimes he just goes to where the play should have been drawn instead of where it was. I'll be nice and say it that way. It's a win after all. We're celebrating.
Jordy here. If Brian Branch isn't the Hall of Fame by the end of the season, the NFL is rigged. All right, I'll go with that right now. I'll take it for today. That's a good one.
Straight up.
Campbell literally called out Houston indirectly. Literally indirectly. That's interesting. An interesting sentence. But Houston came up. Even he had a clutch tackle today.
He got a sack.
Yeah. This was.
You look at the Lions who got sacks, man. It's a menagerie of just like Pat O'Connor got a sack today. Yeah. James Houston. Josh Pascal. These are not the names we were expecting at the beginning of the year to be getting all of our sack performance from. And of course, Alim McNeil did add one too. Like they got their 4 sacks. They got their we would lead the NFL if we could do this every week number.
What's the French word for 7?
Sit.
Okay, so this would be a menage a set once we get Zadarius Smith on board.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Be deeply penetrating the backfield at that point, I'm sure.
Oh man, Jacob Strand, welcome to the DLP Winner Circle. Thank you for joining, being a member of the channel. Appreciate you, and love your selected FTP flair there, man. Swagging. All right, let's see. Let's get this. Why not run one more time before the big kick? I thought we were going to have 7 seconds left, 10 seconds left, and try that Amon-Ra to the first down play to get us a little closer. I understand why not.
Everything you do risks for turnover. Yeah, that's it. That's all it is. It's just every single thing you do. Plus, if you think the guy can make it, why do you need to? Like, distance is never going to be Bates' issue. You know what I mean? Like that was a good. Yeah, I know, but it was good. It would have been that close from 30. That could have been on the 2, and it would have been that close. That kick. It literally just went like on a line right towards the just inside, and it didn't shift, it didn't move, it didn't wobble. There was no weird spin. That's where he kicked it. Damn
it, Ash! You nailed that again. You nailed that just as tight as Jake Bates hit that field goal, man. Travis Duggar. We were cardiac cats for nostalgia today. FTP, yes, I love you with that FTP. And Matt Duroff, sorry, I think it's Duroff. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you very, very much. MCDC looked pissed when the ref called the TO because he did call it at 7 seconds. And then the clock magically moved to 4 seconds. Like we lost 3 seconds there because they screwed up and they just moved the clock.
The conversation that is like the coach is standing behind him going, at 4 seconds, I'm going to call the timeout. And then the guy just went like, timeout? Like, dude, I said at 4 seconds. Like, Please reset the clock to 4 seconds. Just erase some time.
we got lip readers out there. Just change the fucking clock.
Yeah, like it just that's how that went. There's probably going to be some kind of Houston conspiracy that there should have been 2 seconds left on the clock. It's like no, bro.
Luckily, he didn't do the Applebee's order frickin' thing and cover his mouth for that one. That was reviewable. Yep. So that was that. Ooh, yeah, that was man. Like everything that could go wrong went wrong, and yet they still prevailed. This is the hardest part for me to continue to digest with this game and this team. What we saw today. This is like, I know people. I'm going to bed during the first quarter. I saw it. People were just like, I'm tapping out. I'm done. I'm not doing this. And I was like, that's the move. We got a post game show, right? Like that's probably not going to work. Yep. But it took to the very last. They were behind the whole game, right? They never led. They never led the game until
that is correct. No, they didn't, because Houston scored all their points in the first half. So that is until they never led until it was over.
Till the clock struck 0. Yeah. Jacob Strand, thank you for the super chat. Love you guys. Keep up the good work. Big Ball Bates is still perfect, and I think I'm harder than those field goal posts. Yeah, you would hear an audible dong. The visible dong would also create an audible dong if the ball hit it at this point. All right, Robert Brown, no Hutch, no Deck, no ZD, no problem. FTP, and I see that Coach is up right now on the stand. Let me get back to the beginning of the his little doodly deal, and we're going to put him on right as soon as he pops in. At the podium. That's what they call it. Sorry, I can only do so many things and remember words at the same time. Coach at the podium right now.
Let's just call it this.
To D'Amico and that crew, man, they fought. We knew they would, and they were ready to go, and man, they gave it everything, and that was a hard fought game, and we had to fight our way back in there, and look, I'm proud of the guys. There's things that obviously we got to clean up, but. Man, they just wouldn't go away. Our guys wouldn't go away. And for our defense to play the way they played, I thought our defense played good early. We just had one play here, one play there that really that hurt us. But second half, you come out and it's 4 punts, 2 picks, and a missed field goal. I mean, that's huge. And we talked about it at halftime. We just needed to get our takeaways. So the defense did that, and I knew we'd wake up on offense. It was just a matter of time. And once we were able to pull it within one score, you felt like, okay, now, we're starting to find our way here. And, man, our fans helped. With about 8 minutes left in the fourth, they helped. They got a false start over there on them, caused one. So, listen, our fans are huge, traveling like they did. Anyway, proud of the guys. Big win.
Thank you, William Kangas, for that super chat. Most filled win. Suns Rams cheap playoffs. How good was Darius Energy in the sideline? He is us. 100% he is. They don't have him.
Well, look, let me start here. We did Thursday at the end of practice. We did an end of game situation live. Offense versus defense, and we were at the minus 46 seconds left, one timeout for the win. And so Goff hit Saint. And got it to the plus 43. And, there we are, 1 second left after the timeout, and rolled him out there, and he nailed it. And this was outside, slight wind in his face. And so, man, you could just feel the team as well as all of us. There's just a confidence in, okay, man, that was big. So it was the first thing I thought of when we got there, and I'm looking at it. I'm thinking about, you go for this, and I just felt good about it. I just felt like he was going to make it, and he did. He stepped up and nailed it. That was great.
Is this the most confident you felt in the kicker since you came here to the trade?
Yeah, probably. I mean, look, I had a lot of confidence in Badge, I mean, I really did. But I think probably at this point, I'd say that's a fair assessment. I mean, we're getting some pretty longer kicks here. I don't particularly like to do that all the time, but sometimes when you need it, you get in a game like that. And listen, he's answered the bell. He's answering the bell.
You talked about it
in your opening remarks, but just that defensive effort and Aaron Glenn, the second half, the people that you called, right, that side of the ball, you guys shut them out.
Huge. I mean, if we don't play defense like that, we don't win that game. Because, look, we did what we had to do at the end offensively. You know, we found our way and we're able to get in position to score some points. But without the defense, you know, 5 turnovers, that's hard. You know, it's hard to win that way. And, you know, that's really where it begins. And then we're a little off on some stuff. So defense doesn't play that way. You know, this game, we don't have a chance to come back and win it. So I can't say enough about AG, man. We made a couple of adjustments at halftime. But we also knew, like I mentioned earlier, we were playing good ball. We just, man, it was one play here, one play there. One player here, one play. And once we kind of got rid of that stuff and kept playing the way we were playing, man, we were, you know, and look, CD's, I know it didn't work out, but CD's interception coming out at a halftime, we talked about it, man, and it just happens like that. And so there's you know, guys believe, you know, hey, we can make this happen, it's going to happen. But for our defense to have to reload again, you know, with 3 and out or you know, interception on offense, and they have to, man, they're off the bench on the field, and just to continue to, man, that's, you know, that's a credit to those guys, and AG's a huge part of that.
Yeah, when that game goes in, by near almost like pinches.
It's good. You know, inches are right down the middle. I think, as far as I'm concerned, it's right down the middle. So, you know, look, I'm excited. I was excited. That's a hard-fought game, and so, you know, you're living in the emotions of that type of game, and you know, you realize when you get in that one, you're playing the long game. You know, you got to do it one possession at a time, and just find a way to get this thing all the way down to the end of the game, because you're not going to be able to do it. As far down as we were, you're not going to be able to do it within just, you know, a couple of possessions. So we hung in there, and for him to just step up and make those kicks, you know, it's good, and his confidence is growing.
Your quarterback, last 3 over here, Nolan, Dave, and Eric.
Your quarterback, you know, as so many rough patches as Goff did tonight. What do you tell him?
Yeah, you know what though? Here's the thing. I know this is all right. Forget the one right before halftime. That was a Hail Mary. We're just trying to get it up, you know, hoping a prayer didn't work out. All right, so now you're down to 4. Really, only one of them was kind of, okay, I got it. The rest of those, it's just kind of a circumstance. There's some things that happen. You know, the one to Laporta, it's a good throw. I mean, that's what we tell him to do. And, you know, Laporta's a little late getting his head around, and then he doesn't quite get himself to the ball and all, you know. But that's, the timing says, yeah, rip that ball. You know, we were a little off. He and J-Mo should be a little higher angle, you know, and so there's just these little circumstances that come into play. And so for me, I'm not going to tell him anything, because I don't feel like this is, oh man, what are you doing? These weren't ill-advised throws. It wasn't our day. And so when it's not your day and you can still win, that's a sign of a good team.
Dave and Eric.
Well, the pressure that you got, I guess, from the whole defense.
Yeah.
On CJ.
Big.
I mean, just I guess, ties into Tim's question about what Aaron was able to do, but the importance that you guys were able to pressure.
Yeah. And look, we knew going into this game, you know, we've kind of talked about, there's been so much put on our back end, our secondary. We've asked them to do a lot, you know, particularly since Hutch went down. This was the game, though, like we really, really, you know, we challenged our D-line. This was one where we said, you guys got to win. You know, Mac, you have to go and take this game over to an extent. And really, you know, all those guys. And we felt like we could have success. And I felt like we did that, man. We shut that run game down. We were able to apply pressure, particularly Mac. You know, and it helped us. It helped us. So those guys answered the bell.
Eric, last one.
So quarter to an hour, and just in the
Yeah, he's just got I don't know. You know, I don't know how significant it will be. I mean, it's not something like, this is not, you know, he's going to be out 4 weeks, whatever. It's just maybe he might miss this week. We'll see. He's got a little sprain in here, kind of the AC joint. So we'll just, you know, he tried to go back in and it wasn't quite right. You know, it didn't quite feel right. So we'll get it checked tomorrow. We'll see where it's at, see how significant it is, and just take it day to day.
went through arguably the toughest 5-game stretch. Your guys were undefeated, four road wins in there.
Yeah.
How do you feel about your team at this stage of the season?
Yeah, I mean, look, I feel really good about our team. You know, you know, they haven't done anything that would surprise me negatively. You know, they're exactly what I thought they would be. The fight they got in them. You know, the ability to reload. You know, reload one more time on the road. You know, after the win we had in Green Bay, and to face an opponent, a dang good opponent, plays damn good defense and takes care of the ball for the most part. And we knew they were going to be ready to go. It says a lot, you know. And so, like every week, for us, we just got to stay focused on what's right in front of us. And I really believe if we do that, we're always going to have a really good shot. The odds are going to favor us that we can win every week. And so, you know, listen, we're in it now. There's no buys. There's no nothing. I mean, we're in the meat of it. And so just head down and we just keep plowing forward.
All right, thanks, guys. Locker room's open. We'll have Jared and Carlton in here.
All right, there you go. Ooh. How do you like that new layout there? I got the coach a little bigger, us a little smaller. I think
Yep.
it's got a good look.
That should always be the way that goes. I think we should probably, feature
the
everyone
guest.
but us as much as we can. Yeah.
Oh man,
y'all ain't here for my face. That's all I'm saying. No one says my face should do porn voiceovers.
I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, we probably should. Yeah, let's not go any further down that path.
This is
weirdest conversation I ever had at work. That's all I'm going to say.
This is me being an adult. Okay, I want everyone to give me points for that. I never get points
for once. It's you and not me. You're the one going, "Whoa, bro. Let's not get flagged by YouTube here."
You don't know what I do in your face. Okay, let's. I couldn't stop. I'm sorry. Okay, William, thank you for saving us. I'd go to the wall with this man. We all Spielman 54 for MCDC. Yeah. Look, Coach got everything right here. Coach absolutely nailed it. And to come away with this and say, yeah, it's a bad game. This is a game. I saw it in the chat, and I'm sorry, I don't remember which person said it, and I want to give you credit, but I'm not as smart as I want. As I want to be. But this is a game that last year we would have lost. And then we would have reloaded and come back for the next game strong and would have come in. Okay, yeah, look at that. Now we feel good again, right?
Agreed.
This is one where we would have lost last year and we came out strong and just powered through it. Really, really good Lions team here today. Love what we saw. Couple quick chats, then I'll hand it to you, Ash. That face gets you follows on Twitter, Ash. So love that. Even right, that as it were.
That's an old picture. That's all I'm going to say about that one.
Terry Gator Guy. Chris keeps getting banned from OnlyFans for being too big. Yeah, but it's just the wrong parts. But okay.
It's not the size that gets you banned. It's the ocean or the motion in the ocean.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, Ash.
Anyway.
Ryan, thank you for the super chat. Shout out to Frosty in the Slack, the smartest Lions chat. Well worth a subscription. Appreciate you all. It's just a shout out for those that want to be a member of the channel. Join the YouTube channel and then just email Chris or contact at DetroitLionsPodcast.com with a screenshot of you being the member, and we'll get you into the Slack, or you can join the Slack through being a Patreon member, and that happens a lot more automatically when you do it that way. They both work just fine. Go to patreon.com/Detroit Lions Podcast. $5 or more a month on the Patreon will get you to be a member of the Slack, and you'll get access to the most intelligent Lions chat on the internet, as Ryan referred to here. It's a fantastic place, and really, really great people having great conversations about the Lions year round, almost 24/7. I mean, we got folks in it feels like every time zone, but it never stops. It never stops over there.
Get your daily dose of the hosts you love the most in the Detroit Lions Podcast Slack chat.
Independent Aquaman. This looks like a good one. The first half problems were mostly Ben Johnson's fault. The second half problems were mostly Goff and the offensive line's fault, with Johnson this time innocent. And kicker Bates kicks over 70 yards in practices. Let's start pinning blame on that donkey's ass, Ash. What do you think? Whose fault is it?
There's things about the play calling I don't like. Like we got guys in the chat complaining about the pitches, and like that's true. But like what they're trying to do there is they're trying to get Gibbs in space, which I'm always a fan of. It just doesn't work real well doing it that specific way against teams with really fast linebackers, which that is exactly what the Texans' entire defensive philosophy is built around. It's the same. It's the same thing that didn't work against the Buccaneers, basically, for the exact same reason. Like when you got that speed-based defensive team, that stuff just doesn't go very well. But the thing is, it's not like they were blowing them away in the middle of the field. You know what I mean? Like they were not doing well running up the gut either. So like you got to run somewhere, particularly when your quarterback's having his bad luck 5 interception night, which I do agree with Coach Campbell on that one. Like at halftime, I was like, okay, like one of those was kind of Jared Goff's fault. A little bit, sort of. With the 3 in the first half, and that's about it, like literally Sam Laporta just didn't look for a perfectly thrown ball and the defender caught it. What are you going to do? And then we got from coach, like JMO was supposed to run that exactly where that ball was thrown and he didn't. So good job by that defender making a play. Good, it's just what happens.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And then we got literally batted out of his hand as he was throwing. What are you going to do? Well, that's got nothing to do with Jared Goff. So we have 3 there, basically, where teammates hung him out to dry or his hand got hit.
Yep.
And these things happen. He's got 9 on the season. Hopefully there aren't many more.
All right. Jacob, I got your email. We'll get you after the show. Hattori Hanzo, MCDC could run through walls. Hell, he should be the new Kool-Aid pitchman. Hell yeah. Like, I mean, better than Applebee's. He could just stand there and say, hey, Kool-Aid, and a different freaking Lions player blasts through the wall with a pitcher of Kool-Aid every time, and the Kool-Aid man followed him because he's amped too, but not as much as the Lions players. They've Kool-Aid, sign me up to your marketing department. I'm ready.
Let's do it.
When do you think Za'Darius will play? Next week. This was his.
We will rep blue Kool-Aid for eternity.
Oh God, yeah.
What?
When will
what was that? I totally talked over you.
No, it's okay. When do you think Za'Darius will play? Next week. This was his bye week. They gave him a bye week. Yeah, 100%. That was just 100% what that was. Riley, thank you so much for the kind words in the chat. I
heard a rumor he was not even in the United States when he got traded because it was his bye week. That's why he wasn't at practice till Friday. And you're just not going to get a guy up to speed in a day. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Johnson Powers facing nothing but disaster teams if he decides to make the jump to head coach. That's right. And I don't think I have the Johnson Power anymore. Darn it. Sorry, I put the Johnson Power out to pasture. That was a good one. Ben Johnson stays with us like McDaniels, the Patriots, or Tom Moore, or the Colts. Yeah, I don't know that we're going to be. Oh, we got Jared Goff coming in. I don't know that we're going to be. I don't even want to talk about that yet. We're not ready. We're not ready to have that conversation just yet about where these guys are going. We have a season that we have to complete here. So let's get Jared Goff.
Wait till more people get fired.
Go on and finish.
Yeah.
Where you are, man. With your mindset.
Yeah. I honestly didn't feel like I was playing all that bad, and I was seeing things well. I was throwing it well.
It's in his head. Look at him.
Had some unfortunate things there early, but like I've been through a whole lot worse than that. I've been to the bottom, and mentally I've been to the bottom, and some unlucky plays isn't going to throw me off my game.
How do you kind of wash away? Sorry.
Yeah.
How do you wash those away? Dan said that a lot of them kind of be explained. He wasn't really upset with. I guess how any of the players turned out. How do you wash away those mentally?
Yeah, it's a battle. It's hard. I mean, again, I just said it to Eric, but I didn't feel like I was playing all that bad. I was seeing things well. That tip ball, like, yeah, ultimately I got to take care of the ball, but they were making some good plays and some things that weren't going our way, and I think ultimately, like, I never lost confidence because I felt like I was doing what I was supposed to do on most of those plays, and our defense really bailed us out. They really did all day, and the guys stuck with me on offense, and I was telling them, "Hey, man, I'm good. Just hang in there, and I'm good. I'm gonna have this thing figured out." And they stuck with me.
Talk about that defense maybe just a little bit more. I think it was 4 punts, 2 picks, and a missed field goal.
Yeah, pretty dang good.
In the second half, I mean, you guys needed every one of those stops to come back and win too. It seems like all year long we kind of stepped up when they needed to. Just how big was tonight for that?
Yeah, it was awesome. It really was. And again, to win a game where your offense has 5 turnovers doesn't happen very often, and that's a credit to them, and a credit to our whole team's resiliency. And I think a lot of teams every team gets punched in the mouth. Like every at some point, every team does, and the good ones respond. And we're one of those teams, and we respond.
What's your reaction to Jake's kicks, though?
Yeah, pretty good.
50+ yard kicks.
Yeah. Yeah. He's kicking it as well as anyone in the league right now, and we see him in practice make these long ones all the time. So we're pretty aware of what his range is, and both those looked good from a lot further than where they were kicked from, and got a lot of confidence in him. But it's really cool for a guy that's that young, that with that amount of experience, to walk out there cold-blooded twice now on the road, knocked them both down pretty good.
Where was the first thought that went through your mind then when you saw that ball go in the game winner?
Holy smokes! That was a roller coaster of a game, and like I said, like a mental battle for me to know that I'm not crazy. Like I knew what I was doing, and I knew what I was seeing, and yeah, sure, maybe 1 or 2 of them, I'd like to have back, but for the most part, I was confident in what I was seeing and where I was throwing it.
How can I help you down the stretch? You talked about what you gained and what you learned from the game. Like, how can I help you personally?
Yeah, a ton. I think last year to the Chicago game, like at home, when you can dig in deep in those adverse situations and come out on top, it just prepares you for the next adverse situation. It's never over till it's over. We were in a hole there, big hole, and they were playing well. They were humming on defense. I kept giving them the ball over and over, and we fought. We really did.
How much confidence do you guys have right now? This was a tough stretch, 4 or 5
Yeah.
on the road against some really good teams in there too. To come away undefeated through that stretch, just
Yeah.
have to be pretty confident right now.
Really, yeah, no doubt. I think that was, we got a lot of games left, certainly, but this was a meaty part of our schedule with not only on the road, but the quality of teams we were playing, and tough atmospheres. We had some guys injured. It was a big win for us tonight to go to 8-1 and stay on this winning streak we're on.
Sorry for the incident on the last third down.
Yep.
Was on the right first read.
Yes. Yeah, they played. I think they played some version of cover 2, and he was open. Gave it to him.
Dan talked about you guys going through this scenario Thursday at practice. I'm just curious, was it the same call the same Thursday that set up a late field goal in practice?
Gosh, I remember the field goal. Gosh, what was the play? I don't know if it was that play, but I do remember the field goal. It was a very similar situation. Yeah. So, and we do it all the time. I don't know if that one was exact, but it was very similar. And every week he kind of puts some new scenarios in, and it really prepares us for them. And we walk through them, we talk through them. We talk through what are the possibilities, what could we do, what could we not do, and so yeah, we're always kind of prepared for those.
What is a couple more guys should allow you guys to come from moments like this?
Yeah, we've been tested. I think Dan's done a great job of putting us in these tough situations in practice. And I think all the way back through training camp, so much situational work and creating pressure environments in reality it's practice, but creating a pressure environment where guys are asked to kind of rise above and see what they're made of, and he does it all the time. He does it every week, and it's paid off.
Sean, last one.
We had a game where you did it away with Goff.
A little bit, yeah.
A couple of them are unlucky.
Yeah. Thank you.
Do you coaches say much to you, or do your teammates kind of try to...
They were all so supportive. No, we were good, and I spoke on it earlier, but like there was a couple of unfortunate ones, and then like I never felt like I was not seeing things well. That's when you kind of have to recalibrate a little bit. I felt like I was seeing things great, and they were making good plays, and there were some unfortunate situations, and yeah, would I like them back? Sure, but I had to swallow it a little bit. That all right, it happened, but I'm seeing things good, and don't try to abandon what I know I can do.
Thank you, guys.
That makes sense. Cool. Thank you.
Carlton Davis.
All right, there we go. Woo! I heard him mention Carlton Davis, and I gotta say, Carlton Davis.
Yep.
My guy had a game. My guy had a game today, and much love
he
to
did.
Mr. Davis the third.
Yeah,
man,
honestly,
man.
guy turned the game around.
Yeah,
You know, when everything was going wrong, when the light was gone and we were at the darkest of dark, he was the ray of sunshine coming over the hill.
Yeah, he absolutely was.
Bringing the team back.
God. Ronnie Martin, this is interesting. I love the fact that all game, no matter what I was telling the group chat, I still feel like we're going to win. These games expose fair weathers and SOL fans. I love them. I will say this is something I've been wrestling with a little bit. And Ronnie, this is not, don't take this the wrong way. This is not a shot at you or anything, right? Like, there is absolutely a badge of honor for people who were die-hard fans through the Patricia years, for example, and the thousands of years prior, right? I mean, there's a badge of honor for you to hold and stuck true and stayed true to your team. But by the same token, the pain, the anguish that you went through for people that just bandwagoned on in the last year is the liver abuse or whatever other kind of mental abuse or, you know, whatever that happened, is that worth it? And it's an interesting, I've been just kind of fighting with this. And I'm like, okay, so you have your badge of honor. What does it really mean? Like, oh, I'm more of a fan than you, the kind of gatekeepy thing. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I've seen a lot of that. I mean, maybe it's a lot of the political stuff going on too. I just
It's the same energy as that music you're not listening to is not real metal, man.
Yeah.
You know, like it's that same vibe. You know, like
I think we're in a place. You know, we should be a lot more inclusive, just with each other as Lions fans, and absolutely drop bag across the face of Packers and Vikings and whoever else. But if I don't care if a he's like rips off his Packers jersey and says, I want to be a Lions fan. I know the city, I know the people of Detroit. I've been around all over the country, seen a lot of the world. I just feel like Detroit is a very, very special place. Of course, it's close because it's hometown for me, that kind of thing. It's a special place, and I think just being welcoming to people and letting them get in a feel for what Detroit is and what the people are. If they're new, who cares? Right? Let them come in. Welcome them in. Let them join the club.
We were all new at one point. You know, like I myself. You know, when did I join? 91. You know what I mean? The year that they went. The NFC Championship game. So am I going to turn around now and take a dump on some person who just got into football?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Or just like there are reasons to like this team. You know, like if you live halfway between Cleveland and Detroit, and this is the day where you have decided to come over to the good side, welcome.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm not one of those like. I don't know. I'm all about like giving people that deserve it shit, but I will say there's a sense of grit, and this is where Ronnie's right. If you call yourself a Lions fan and you're gonna be a fan, you can't just come for the good days, and when things go a little south, start saying like this team is about grit and heart and soul, and that's what Detroit's been about for years, man. I grew up. I know the crap that happened in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s in Detroit, right? It means something to people there. And it's a mindset. And this team has embraced it, which is why it's so freaking great to see a team so connected to the city and its heart and its soul and its mind and where it's come from and where it's going. That's what people I want to see from fans. That's where I'd be willing to gatekeep people, right? The people that are ready to fade out after, it's 7-0, we'll never win this game in the first fucking quarter. Get the fuck out. I don't need to hear you. Yep. I'm going to enjoy this, win or lose. More likely if we win, I'll enjoy it more. But I'm going to enjoy this because I love football. I love my team. And I just know that no matter what happens, this team will find a way. Just like the people in the city I'm from, just like I did out of that city from fucking nothing to where we are now. Like it's just a mindset. And that to me, I mean, I guess that's the biggest freaking mantra I've done on what fandom is for Detroit Lions or what fandom means to me. But I think that really encapsulates where my head's at. Sorry, Ash, if I went on a little bit of a rant there.
It's your show, bro. You can do whatever you want. Really, I'm
It's
just here
our
to
show.
I'm here to fill the negative space. But yeah, like in terms of like fandom, why do we care why somebody likes the thing that we like? They just do. They like the thing that we like. So can we all just get together and just chill on the gatekeeping? Because there's no reason somebody else enjoying something has to be detrimental to your enjoyment of that thing. Particularly if they're not in the same room as you. Like
Well,
it just is what it is, man.
yeah, and you might get a free beer out of them.
Yeah,
like instead of a
exactly.
punch in the nose. And who doesn't want a free beer versus
Yep.
a punch in the nose, right? Al 10. I think Patricia Years should be known as the Troubles. I love the I love the Troubles because it's such an understated way of describing what was going on. Oh yes, I remember
That
those.
is gold.
Those were the Troubles.
Right, I feel like we need to say it with some sort of accent. Which is are you referring to? Oh, you know, the Troubles.
Oh man, yeah. It was 52-year Lion fan, 56 years Lion fans. I was a Lions fan. I'll tell you, when I really started being, I was a fan because I was adjacent to it. But my friend's dad worked for the Knights of Columbus, and we used to go to the Silver Dome and work one of the Elias Brothers big boy food stands there, and we a portion of whatever was sold from that place went to the is it the Knights of Columbus? The Lions Club. Well, it was for blind people. I don't know. I don't remember what, but anyway, it's the Lions Club, I think.
Yep.
But
irrelevant.
Yeah.
Somebody
we used to
got
do
money.
that, and it was freaking awesome. And so we would work for 2 quarters, and we got 2 quarters after you work. You could just sit in the stands and watch the game, and it was like, oh, so we got to see.
Yep.
Up in the 300 decks, the top of the dome, right? I mean, you're sitting there but as a kid, you were there and you were watching these.
Silverdome sold 90,000 tickets. You could seat 108,000 people. Yep.
You'd see these big ass men as a kid, right? It was really special. That's man, the origin story for Lions fans is absolutely fantastic. I think we got Carlton Davis coming up here, and let me just really quick do a thing. I want to grab it because if we've got a presser, it's always good to have it. I'm going to leave this blank here really quick, and let's go ahead and get this thing started. Okay, sorry, we've got a presser here right now. Let's see who the Lions are bringing on, and we'll work with it. And any moment, I promise, it's coming.
I really wish I could see the messages in the chat. That
Man, it was a long time coming, but we made the plays we were supposed to make to stay in the game, and came up with a big play.
Just talk about that effort collectively from 11 guys the second half. I think it was 4 punts, 2 picks, and a missed field goal in the second half.
Yeah, halftime AG came up to us, and he had a heartfelt message for us to just play our game and to go out there and just put it all on the line, because at that point, we losing the game and there's nothing else to do but to try to win it. You're already losing, give it all you got. And that's what we did. 11 guys went out there and did their jobs.
Results of those drives aside, how good does it feel for you to walk away tonight and say you got 2 pens?
Feels fucking good. Great. Because
I love that.
it was still a close game, and whether you win or lose that game kind of depends on how you feel after the game. Like if we lose, it's like I got 2 picks, but fuck it, we lost. But you win, it's like let's go. It's a little bit more exciting. So I'm happy we got the dub, and I'm happy we all came together as a team and got the win.
Is really the meat of your schedule, 4 or 5 on the road with 2 really good teams, Green Bay, Houston.
Yeah.
How much confidence do you guys have going through this stretch on the team?
Honestly, it's letting us know a lot about ourselves as a team. Being able to go on the road against tough opponents, like the best opponents, in my opinion, in the league right now, and getting the dub out at their home stadium is huge for us. It's a huge confidence boost. But, nevertheless, we still got to go back to work and continue this streak and continue to get better every day.
Come out for the second half. Can you just describe the way that you felt the energy changed throughout those last 2 quarters?
Honestly, I'm never really paying too much attention to the crowd. I'm not going with the flow of it. I'm trying to, just focus on my job. And honestly, I don't even hear them, if I'm being honest with you. But it was loud when we first got out there. It was a good crowd. When they were up, they were loud. And then second half, make some plays, and it's kind of going down. But like I said, I'm not paying too much attention to it. I'm just trying to get a dub.
You said you learned something about yourself in games like this. I mean, 5 turnovers by the offense.
Yeah.
You cut them out in the second half, over the 23 points.
Yeah.
What did you learn about that defense today?
Shit, grit. That's it. I don't got nothing else to say. Grit. You look up the meaning of that word, and it'll tell you everything else. Like, just grit, bro. Like, that's all we made of. Just grit.
You guys are 5 for 5 in prime time this year. Does it just get a little butterflies when you know that the whole country's watching us?
I hope he gets more press conferences.
Not really. We kind of been here before. Especially me. This is my 7th year in the league, so I done played at the highest of the levels. Like, it can't go no higher than that. So honestly, I just play my game. It's a good time to have a good performance, but at the same time, man, we might have another big game next week or in 2 weeks. So you just keep it copacetic.
What were your thoughts when Jake trots on the field for that 52 yards?
I was like holding my breath. I was just like, please, 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 because they are a good team. You don't want to give them too many chances to get back in the game, and he iced the game for us, man. He did his job, and I'm so happy for him.
You may have described the first pick already. Alex said it was a play of the game. You guys might not win that without that one.
Yeah.
Progressing that second half. Can you just walk me through that and how important you think that was to sort of giving everyone the confidence that he had?
Man, honestly, like going into halftime, like I said, we had a prep talk. But for me personally, last year I played in the stadium when I was with the Bucks, and I had a terrible game, and it was probably one of the worst games I've ever had in my life here. So just coming back here 1 year later, like I think it was like the same time frame last year, I gave up a winning touchdown, and that was just heavy on my heart. I wanted to get payback, and honestly, it's never personal for me, but I did feel that on my heart. And when we was losing, I just told myself, like, bro, we got to make a play. Like, I'm not going out sad to these guys twice. They're a great team, well-coached guys, but at the same time, we are too. And like the emotional state just kind of took over, and I was like, I'm making a play regardless, man. I couldn't leave the stadium twice, 2 years in a row. Not being able to say I'm a winner and not being able to overcome this team. And like I say, they're a good team, but at the same time, like the competitor in me just needed it. I needed to show them, because it's not about, stats or whatever. Honestly, for me, at the end of the day, it's about respect. And I want to earn the respect of every team who I play against. And last year, I didn't do that. Last year, they could go into this season, or they may have gone into this game thinking, well, we could get them again. And they had a little bit of success earlier, but, like I said, for me personally, I had a personal vendetta just to show them, just to get my respect back. That's what it's all about for me. So going into coming out of halftime, I had to do something. I was like, I'm about to just let them know, So.
And you did it. I mean, there was a little veteran savvy today. They baited them into their own.
I definitely did, but you know what? They were. So if you watch film, I jump outs all the time. Like if you watch this film, like I'm in good position on every out, and I know this team, they like to like run out, and then do a double move. So when they ran the 2 outs, I didn't play it too hard, and they was throwing it, they was completing it. And I know coming out of halftime that they would want to go back to that, because they're a team who love to repeat successful plays. So when they went back to it, or they gave me the set that I was looking for, and we was in the right call, I knew I would jump it. I know it would jump because they had success earlier, and they probably.
All right, that's the end of it. They cut him off. So, hey, we've got good content.
He does a post game every week, man. I hope he does one every week. That was entertaining.
It feels like he's like telling you a little bit of a secret about. Like he feels like you're like an insider. The way he it's really. I love that. Oh my God, Carlton Davis, I love you, man.
Just the lack of a filter. I will take the unfiltered player emotion every single time, man. I love it.
Yeah. Oh God, I loved it. Oh,
what he didn't say is, we're in a primetime game on Sunday night, and I just made 2 game-saving interceptions. My price just went up by about $5 million a year on my next deal.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. And dude, that one he grabbed at the outset of the first. Right after halftime, third quarter.
Oh, that was
all the other stuff aside of the TV. We're running the B-roll that we shot earlier now, and it timed it perfectly. That's great. Yep. But the fact,
it was still just a great interception.
Wow, man! And then the other one, he came across the field like Stroud's looking at my guy's wide open. I could just flick this shit, and there is nothing. Fucking comes, I called Jared Goff Roadrunner earlier because it was like beep beep as he was running with that one run he had. I was like, oh my God, he's the Roadrunner. But freaking Carlton Davis for real was the Roadrunner. I mean, oh my God, that was fantastic. All right. Let's do this. We don't have a whole lot of time. I'm gonna grab a couple of, because we got to work. I know some folks have been calling in. Let's do the calls now. We went with an extra one of those thingy doodles. What are they called? Dang it! I hit the wrong button on that call. The post-game pressers. Yeah, thank you. We hit Carlton, who was an extra one, but it was so worth it to hear him. All right, we'll grab a call here, and we'll go with it here, and we'll say, "Hey, caller, what's your name and how you feeling after big Lions victory this evening?"
Oh yeah. So it's John from Texas.
Are we talking baby mamas again?
What you doing?
I can explain the interception. My baby mama lives in Houston.
So when the plane landed, there was a great sucking sound that everybody heard. And is that what we're talking about?
PNC. Yep, PNC.
No one else could have got a 7 interception game going other than her skills had to be involved.
I'm with you, John.
Ladies champion.
Where were you at halftime? Let me ask you, where was your head at halftime? Were you in dire need of some assistance?
I made the comment that we got out physicaled in the first half, and if there's one thing I could trust Dan Campbell to do, it was to get our team physical the second half.
Yeah, 100%. And he did. Boy, he did. I mean, he never misses, does he? Does he?
I never lost faith in this team because living so close to Houston, seeing the Texans fans, they're worse than SOL fans.
Yeah, really?
Somehow they are.
Yeah.
This might explain Risden's love of this team.
He doesn't know how to pick them. He really does.
I love you, Riz. Sorry.
Like team fans that hate their team even when they're winning it at the top of the division in Houston, like fans that'll throw snowballs full of batteries in Cleveland. Yeah. Like all Detroit fans do is wear bags on their heads when things are going badly.
Go ahead, man.
Saying they knew the Texans were going to find a way to lose this. They knew the Texans were going to lose this.
Well, they were right.
They should have been so confident.
You're not wrong. You're just an a-hole.
Oh, man, I love it. All right. Hey, brother, we're going to let you go. We're going to lay off your baby mama this week. Unlike most of the fucking city of Houston. But we got a lot of calls coming in, so we'll talk to you. All right, brother?
Y'all have an amazing night.
All right, you too. We'll talk to you. It's terrible.
Sometimes the train is 5 or 6 cars. Sometimes it's 30 or 40.
Sometimes it's all the entire GDP of a small country. Hey, caller, what's your name and how much have you had to drink tonight in this Lions victory?
This is Jack of Packers infamy last week.
Jack, we've got proof of life, brother.
I'm marking myself safe from that bus I was on in Lambeau last week. With my voice still a little shot.
So how bad did it get? Let me ask you that.
How bad? The bus ride was actually fine. I kind of passed out halfway through.
Okay.
But man, it was a hell of a day. It was a long, long day. So I've had 0 to drink today.
Okay.
Trying to reverse the trend from last week.
Got it.
But yeah, it was incredible. It was such a good, just to see so many people sad in one building because of the thing that brings me happiness was incredible.
This is
bask in the negative emotions of other human beings. I'm okay with it. No, it just makes you a person.
This is the fandom I was talking about. Like, bask in the pain of the other team's fans because you can.
Yep.
Oh man, Jack,
it was awesome.
You were fantastic.
Bathe in their pain.
Do you recognize how? Did you listen back and listen and see how fantastic you were?
I did listen back. The next morning.
Did you play it at work?
On my way home, as I was driving home with my hands shaking at 7:30 in the morning, trying to get back to a meeting. Yes, it was awesome. It was a great chat. I liked being the sideline reporter, for lack of a better phrase.
You can always be my sideline reporter.
You are our official. Yeah, you are the official DLP sideline reporter now. I hope you know that.
I know. Well, they are coming to Chicago in a few weeks. I cannot get that drunk and be as outspoken, or I will get my face kicked in.
Yeah.
At Soldier Field.
Yeah.
Lambeau's
you got to pick your spots.
In Soldier Field.
I have to give a lot of love to Lambeau and Packers fans for the hospitable environment that they provide. Yeah, they are fantastic for opposing fans to come in. I mean, you'll get knifed at a Chargers game. You'll get knifed at a Cowboys game, right? I mean, you'll be crapping batteries for a week at a Philly game after a Philly game, right? I really, there's a little something, as much as I hate the Packers, and I really have hated their fans because they've been at the top of the game so long and we're so smug.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for this Mike Tomczak era to continue. But I have to give them credit for the class they show for opposing teams. And because it's hard to really, especially with a family, to pick a game and go and enjoy an away game for in the NFL, because people are just monsters. But good show on the Packers, and especially for not hurting Jack. Thank you so much.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I think of tonight, man. I think at halftime, I was kind of accepting the fact that it just might have been our number tonight. And, I wasn't counting us out, but I was like, teams losing the NFL. It's not like college used to be where somebody would go undefeated every year. But yeah, I mean, what a hell of a win. I think, the one key thing I noticed the last 2 weeks, I'm not saying, Monty is in the back seat, but it definitely seems like Gibbs is getting a lot more playing time, a lot more touches. I don't think it'll ever be a true, true non-split, for lack of a better phrase. But I've noticed that quite a bit, and I think it's something I picked up on at the game when I was cognizant last week, and then also watching today. So curious to get your guys' thoughts on that. Branch was awesome. Jared looked like the pressure hit him a little bit at times, but I agree, not all 5 interceptions were on him. But overall, very happy with how everything played out, and celebrating soberly, but still celebrating.
Love you, Jack. Thank you for calling back and giving us that proof of life. You can get as tanked at the Bears game. You just have to keep yourself in the right kind of check. I'm gonna let Ash.
No tequila.
I'm gonna let Ash knock out the answer to that really quick while I switch calls, okay, Jack? Because we only got a little bit of time, and I want to try to get some more people in while we can. Okay.
Awesome.
What was that specific question again? I got a little bit lost in the chat there.
All right. Thank you, Jack. We'll talk to you, brother.
I was like, please don't throw to me. Please don't throw to me. Please don't throw to me. I was reading something in the chat.
It's totally the Laporta move on that interception.
Yeah,
man.
Yep, absolutely. I did not turn my head for that one, and it went right into the opponent's hand. What was the basic question, though?
I have a shiny object over here. Hey, caller, what's your name, and how did you enjoy the Lions' victory tonight?
Name's Austin Damon.
Hey, how you doing, brother?
Carolina.
North Carolina.
Good.
How were you? How'd you survive the storm, man?
I live in the middle part of it, so I did pretty good.
All right,
mostly in the mountains.
Good.
Hey, appreciate you guys. Doing stuff for that. By the way, it was real nice of you.
Oh, thank you. So what do you got for us tonight, man? It's a little bit late. We got the big win, and the Lions come out on top yet again. 8 wins this season.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure all of our hearts palpitate a lot when Jake Bates kicks so straight, but they're not in that field goal very far, are they?
Yep. The man's perfect.
Look, as Coach
that's what
said,
physical perfection looks like.
As Coach said, it may only be a couple inches, but I'm going right down the middle. I don't know if he quite said that, but I'm going with it.
Sounds good to me.
Exactly. It's those last 2 inches that matter. That's it.
Yeah, that's the 2 inches that matter. That's all that matters, I guess.
Yep.
No, that defense played amazing, man. Like, first half, they got beat, but not really. In the second half, they shut everything down. It was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, they were fantastic out there. And I mean, I'm not trying to beat people up, but the folks that were the dogging on AG last year, I want them to rethink, like, think very, very closely. I was calling for AG's head. I want them just to recognize I was wrong, and I'm not a good I'm not a good GM. I don't really understand what qualities and skills we need in coaches. I should not be the person that's calling for any kind of movement in the coaching ranks anywhere in the NFL, unless I want to watch a team lose, because I'm all over how to pick losers. I may be exaggerating as I go on as I say that, but AG, obviously, and we talked about it, it was the first year they came in, they did what they had to do. Jared Goff took all kinds of crap.
Yeah.
Second year is we need to help Jared out because he's our quarterback, and that's he's the player that's going to get the most shit. So through the draft, they bolstered the hell out of the offense, and then AG got hammered that year, and we got to get rid of it. And then they built up and bolstered the defense, and now you're seeing the plan play out. And I think what we're going to see, whatever happens this year, right? If we win it or what, now we're really filling gaps with the draft. This is the kind of draft that any GM would love to be able to do because you have talent on both sides of the ball, and now you're just bolstering, you're just building things up.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that today. Actually, I was going like, okay, so like going into the draft, like what are the needs right now? You kind of need a pass rusher, I guess.
Defensive
end. And then, yeah, like that's the only thing. And even that, if you got Zadarius Smith and Aiden Hutchinson, like you're good for starters. You know, it's not an auto, we have to draft this in the first round thing necessarily.
But why not?
Like
because you got Zadarius for what? You got Zadarius for next year and this year, right?
Yeah.
And if you get,
assuming they don't extend him.
Yeah, but think about if you had Aiden, you in a situation like this where you have Aiden Hutchinson and you have Zadarius Smith, and you were to draft an Aiden Hutchinson. So he would still get reps, right? But be able to learn under two fantastic edges. It's like no drop when Zadarius moves on, right? That feels like it's luxury. It's freaking luxury, man.
It's the correct process. You know what I mean? Like you draft guys for next year.
Go ahead,
the thing Campbell doesn't get enough credit for is like every coaching decision he's made so far has just been right. You fired it. Who was the first offensive coordinator?
Yeah, Anthony Lynn. Lynn, yeah.
And Anthony Lynn, right? He took over play calling. The offense got better. You know, promoted Ben Johnson halfway through the season. Fired cornerbacks coach. Why can I not remember names right now?
Aubrey Pleasant.
Aubrey,
Aubrey Pleasant, thank you. Right, and so he fired him. Like every decision he's made on personnel has just been the right one. It's fixed something.
Yeah.
Like even when people are calling for other people's heads, he's like, "Nah, that's not the problem." Like, you know, he makes changes when they need to be made. Like you don't have Joe Barry running your defense for 2 years, and everybody knows he needs to be fired.
That's exactly what I was thinking of when you talked, man. I was like, yep, he did not hire his son-in-law as the defensive coordinator and then double and triple down on that, even though he's the worst defensive coordinator in the history of the NFL. That's not happening here.
Robert Prince for Jim Caldwell. They all seem to have one. Matt Patricia for Bob Quinn, right? They all seem to have one. The drunken uncle that they hold on to, and they shouldn't. And if they would jettison, they'd get themselves more money and more time to make things right. But nope, that's not how it works. So that's it. Hey, we're gonna rock and roll. I appreciate your call. Really glad you made it through the storm well, man.
Great
and thanks for checking in with us. Call every week, man. You're a lot of fun. You get some good thinking.
Thank you, man.
All right, appreciate you, brother.
No problem. You too.
All right. Man, I love me some North Carolina. All right. Let's see. Got another call here. We're getting close.
I drove through
it. Hey, caller. What's your name and how you feeling with that, with 9 inches of kick?
Yo, Chris, Ash, what's up? This is Kevin from Florida. How are you guys?
Kevin, how you doing, brother?
Awesome.
Dude, I am on cloud nine. I just want to say I'm really happy that Jack's okay after that last call in Green Bay. I was rolling listening to that the next day on Monday, and I'm glad he's alive.
Yes.
That really was great. He was so great. I want to go. I mean, someone said earlier they want to come drinking with me. I love doing that kind of stuff, but I want to go drinking with Jack. I think that would be a freaking riot to go out. Maybe we'll do a live show in the off season in Detroit, Ash. Maybe we'll just show up there and get some of our friends together and just have another party for the heck of having a party, right? And bring folks like Jack in to just throw him on the mic.
I'll go anywhere where I can get Buddy's Pizza. That's all I'm saying. That's my appearance fee. There are other pizza places in Detroit I like, but I will have to say that was my favorite that I had while I was there.
Nice. So what do you got for us, brother? What do you got for us?
No, I just, I got down into a little bit of a low point tonight, like I'm sure most fans did. Lions were giving up, third down, that touchdown early on, and Joe Mixon takes that pass and takes it to the 2. It's just like, man, the Lions defense has been so good in the red zone, so good on third down. Goff has been so good about protecting the ball, and this just felt like a dud. And I was having flashbacks to, 2002, 2003 when Ty Detmer threw 7 picks, and it was like, this is just a dud. It's going to happen, The Lions aren't probably going to run the table the rest of the way, but the grit and resilience of this team, once they stopped them, got that hold. I think it was against Aleem McNeil early on and pushed him back and forced a field goal. It was like, okay, this isn't over. And even when we were down at halftime, lots of picks going in, it felt like the Lions were in. And that is such a change from what I have grown up with and what I've become accustomed to of, man, the Lions just, the SOL feeling of this game's over. It felt like that a little bit earlier in the season with the Vikings where we started off bad, but this feeling lasted a little bit longer today. Or I shouldn't say feeling, but just the score lasted a little bit longer today. But that resiliency with the Lions, it never felt like it was out of hand. And I think that's just credit to, Dan Campbell. Jack Campbell's a stud too, by the way.
He's just there you go.
Yes, he is.
He is an unsung hero of the defense, but the Lions are new this year, and this is the mark of a good team. I think, in the power rankings, we're, consistently 1 or 2. And the Chiefs, if we're not 1, we're 2, and the Chiefs are number 1. And a lot of people have bemoaned, like, well, we're better than the Chiefs. But the thing about the Chiefs is they're winning ugly. And that's the mark of a championship team, in my opinion, where it's like you can throw 5 picks, you can have a bad day. And some of those picks, they weren't turnover-worthy plays. It was just unlucky. Not saying Goff was at his best, but they still found a way to win. And I just think this team is unlike any Lions team in my lifetime.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree at all. And I'll tell you, one of the things about the Lions team is, and this is where, what we saw tonight was grit, right? We absolutely saw the heart of Detroit in this team play out. And that's what I just want. Detroiters know it. People in Detroit know it. And I mean, are you from Detroit originally, or have you been always in Florida?
No, brother. Yeah, actually, I grew up in Montana and just ended up, falling in love with the Lions because of Barry Sanders. Hook, line, and sinker got me. Unfortunately, I'm just before the millennial era. So thanks, Barry.
Yeah. No, Barry could do that to a guy, though. I'll tell you, if you get a chance, I don't know if you've been there or not. And like I said, maybe we should put together just to get together in the off season and just like maybe call it Tour Detroit or something, and just come together with folks from outside the city and in the city and just have a good time. Maybe I'll spend the weekend doing different stuff and seeing sights around town. I mean, we did a whirlwind job with Blandino on the video that we have on our YouTube channel and stuff. I think people really need to get in there and get a feel for it, the folks that don't know, and then the folks that do and that live there get a chance to really celebrate it. Because when you're sitting in it, like I just lived it. It was just how things were, right? And then I moved away, and then I traveled a lot, and I didn't realize how special it actually is. We got to do something about that, because I'll tell you, this team, like you said, you wrote them off, and you're like, God, this team didn't, and that just embodies one of the things that makes Detroit so special and so different from literally everywhere else I've been. And I can't stress that connection enough from what the team is doing and kind of their personality and who they are. I don't know if Dan Campbell just tried to, he's authentic. He didn't just try to emulate it, but it feels like you couldn't come up with a better mantra for this team than what Dan Campbell has brought here. So we should do something with that, Ash. We should really do like tour Detroit. We should do a tour Detroit. Yep.
Well, hey, if you want to take someone who's not from Detroit on a tour of Detroit, I might know a guy. That's all I'm saying.
Let's see, you could help. That would be fun. You would be perfect to help set it up, right?
Yeah.
The points.
I know almost nothing.
Yeah. 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 I bet the Lions would put together one of the Ford Field tours that they do too. All right. Tour Detroit. Off season. It's coming up. We'll do it. Maybe it should be like a June thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like what? Like in the
Because the thing with tying into training camp is now everybody wants training camp tickets, so they're actually super hard to get now.
Yeah.
And like, no offense, but I'm not flying to Detroit to just hang out for one night. I'm just not doing it.
In a stupor.
All right. It's a fun time. Those training camp parties are awesome, but I'm not also going to the practices. I got no reason to show up to that.
Yeah. Well, next time we'll do the credential thing, and we'll get you in there. You can spend some time actually feeling like a hoinalist.
I will skip partying on my birthday somewhere else for.
Like a hoinalist. Hey,
that's the other thing is it's always the same week as my birthday. Caller, what you got? What do you need? What are you doing? How you doing? How many you had?
Oh, you said
what
am I still on here?
Yeah.
I've had a lot, man. I don't know. 8 beers. I switched to whiskey at that low point for a little Woodford Reserve, but I'm doing good, man. Cloud 9, 8-1. First in the NFC. We're fucking flying high.
Have you felt like any kind of a shift in your thinking after tonight? Like, I know people talk about the same old Lions kind of mentality, but now you came and you saw a comeback from a team that was basically, most people would say was beaten. In the fourth quarter, they would have even said this is over for this team, right? You sat there and you watched it. You've come out the other side. You're sitting here. The next time the Lions are in a position at halftime like they were today, will you believe more than you did today?
Oh no, man! I'm already on the train. I mean, I think the belief switched 2 seasons ago, last game of the season in Green Bay. Nothing to play for, and we went and just kicked Aaron Rodgers' teeth in. Kirby Joseph still has that football, that he intercepted. So that's when I truly started to believe, like, hey, this team is for real. Dan Campbell has them playing no matter what. They believe in themselves. So I've been there, and it's this. I don't care if a team goes 17-0 or whatever it is. Like that's not a mark of the season. Teams are going to have dud weeks and just not win, or there's the ball's not going to bounce their way. So losses are going to happen. It's what happens in the playoffs, and I'm going to backtrack a little bit. I guess I was believing when they beat Green Bay, but truly believing last year once they started winning in the playoffs. And showed me that they can do it on the biggest stages. So I'm just gonna say I've got my my preseason bet on the Lions to win the Super Bowl, and Hard Rock keeps trying to pay me out, and cash me out on that bet, and I'm not gonna cash out that fucking bet.
Same, brother, same. I'm in the same boat.
Good call.
I want to call it. I'm gonna let you go, and I want to play on a point that you made though. Thank you for calling. I appreciate you, man. Really do. All right, I want to play out on something he said. The Lions on the big stage, they just did it. They had this game tonight. It wasn't just a game that was a massive comeback and a game that everyone had looked at and said, oh yeah, at halftime they're going to lose. At the end of the third quarter, the Lions are going to lose. They could have thought all those things and thought that was what was going to happen. But all that was happening on a Sunday night game, the big stage, prime time, the game of the week, effectively. And the Lions pulled that comeback. That means so much more than doing it at a 1:00 game when 56 other games are going on. I mean, there's more juice in this win than really I think maybe we were recognizing at first. And hey, caller, how much juice do you have in your cup after this big win?
Actually, I have none, surprisingly.
What? No juice?
None. I'm trying to stay as sober as I can for work tomorrow.
Okay. Well, Ash would always blame the juice. That's how he is. But let's talk about
pre-diabetes. Anyway, moving on.
What do you got for us, caller? What do you got going on, brother?
Not so much. Just still on a high after this big win, I would say, from tonight. I was really scared at halftime because of the score, but I knew for some reason that this wasn't going to be like the same old Lions, and we were going to have something up our sleeves where it could be good.
Yeah. This I was oddly calm. I said it earlier in the show, and my wife was probably more rightly agitated by the game and wanted to see more. And I was like, I don't know, it'll happen. It's going to be fine. And then it wasn't. And then it wasn't. And then there's a little sign of life. And then it wasn't. And, there's a little more life. And before you know it, it's tied, and it doesn't feel like it's tied. Did you get that, Ash? Like when it was tied, it felt like we were still down 100%. By 15, right?
Well, because like when we were down by 10, it felt like we should have been down by 40. Like we literally took the emotional hit of getting blown out in the first half. And then, like, I guarantee if you want to do something entertaining tomorrow, I want you to skip around the radio dial on your way to work if you're not listening to us. If you're listening to us, just keep listening because we're amazing. But if you're listening to the radio for some reason, like you stayed up, you watched this whole thing, but you still have to work at 7 o'clock in the morning, just listen to the radio. You'll be able to tell which people went to bed at halftime by how they're talking about how this game played out or whether they ignored completely.
Yeah.
I will say I was pulling a George Kittle where he says he doesn't watch the kicker kick at the end of the game. I was doing the same exact thing. I was pretty much waiting for like cheers or something like that to figure out what was going on.
I believe it. I was in a weird spot. Like I had pre-written the tweet that the Lions win, and with Fred Sanford clutching his chest, I'm coming to get you. I'm coming to see Elizabeth. Like I had that pre-written, and I was sitting there for, I'm not even kidding, like 4 or 5 minutes. I actually sent it to somebody else on a DM earlier, but I had it sitting there like with the Lions win, just waiting to go. My brain knew the Lions were going to pull it out. My brain just knew. I don't know, I see the future, but my heart was
your heart is a prick.
Oh, my heart, my chest was so tight. And I was like, but like, I'm like, is this the jinxiest thing I've ever done? Is pre-write this tweet like this? Like, what in the hell? But I don't know. My brain was right. My heart was conflicted.
I actually do have one more question.
Yeah.
Do you think the secondary is actually worthy of a nickname like the Legion of Boom or something like that?
I don't know what the nickname is yet. I was so concentrating on calling Jared Goff Roadrunner today. This is goofy. It's a goofy run.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's one of the problems is we don't have a lot of, what's the word? Super convenient nicknames to give, and like that stuff tends to work better when it comes on organically. Like if somebody who isn't a part of the thing comes up with the name, like I don't think even Richard Sherman was arrogant enough to start calling that defense themselves the Legion of Boom. Yeah. Like when a team comes up with their own nicknames, it really comes off a lot like Dagger Time did for us. Like that's usually how that goes. Or last year with the ski masks. Like just like let somebody else give you the moniker. And then just run with it,
and then live up to it. The Silver Rush, right back in the day, and another one bites the dust. Yep. When Queen came out, that was electric, and the team embodied that.
They tried to,
it was
trying to fabricate that when Jim Schwartz came back. They were like, "Should we bring back this nickname?" And he was like, "Well, like that's their name. Like, why would we do that?"
Right.
You're not going to have another Monsters of the Midway. You're not going to have another Purple People Eaters. Like you can't do that. That's not how this works.
Unless they were into autoerotic association, but that's different. But like what you have to do, it has to come from the outside. The Purple People. It has to come from the outside in, because like with the Silver Rush and all that, another one bites the dust stuff, the team elevated itself to try to live up to the name. When they create the name, they create the ceiling. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes from the outside in, the ceiling is anything, right? And they have to embody what that is. So that's where it comes from. I've seen people try to come up with names, like even like, you know, I'm just the Roadrunner thing. I'm just laughing about it as a fun little fucking Zoiks kind of name, like a Scooby-Doo kind of name to give someone. But there's a name somewhere, and you know when somebody's trying to manufacture it. You see it, right? You see it, and it never. The AstroTurf always sucks. AstroTurf is bad, kids. It can cost all kinds of people that are pretty famous and big, all kinds of things. Don't AstroTurf. It has to come up. It has to come up naturally, and when it does, we'll see what it is. So whatever that is, it'll come up. But I think they're worthy of a name. I just don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, and it has to be something. It has to be something, because like Legion of Boom, I don't think we have a bunch of boom sticks in the secondary, right? I think it's like what's the guy's name? John's baby mama. That's probably closer to a name for the secondary, because they're sucking up balls like crazy, right? I don't know, but there's something that's probably more in the neighborhood than Legion of Boom for a nickname for the secondary. All right, caller. I will let you go, brother.
I just can't wait for.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. You guys have a good night. Hopefully, you have a good day at work tomorrow.
All right, thanks, man. 7:30. Oh, it can't come soon.
You too, brother. You too.
All right. I think with that,
we're
going to call it
post-game gear ready to go here.
Shenanigans.
Where's the file? Where's the file? Where's the file?
I will have it. I promise. I see it recorded. I'm going to drop it. Ash is a superhero yet again, folks. You guys don't know, just with the background processing stuff that has to go. He's saving my life. All right. With that, let's call it a show. Time of possession, pretty equal.
Like, why are you still awake?
Why is she awake? She should be jet lagged.
Well, yeah, she, slept for 4 hours and then woke up as it goes,
Fire up the chamomile, my friend. Fire up the chamomile. Here you go, sweetie. This is a little foot rub, some chamomile, and you're out of the doghouse.
You should probably get some rest tonight, Hans.
It's only 5 minutes of foot rubbing. That's okay.
I'll just watch the Lions game and do a podcast. It's fine.
Yeah.
No. Go to bed. Take care of yourself.
If there's like rage, you slide a Hershey bar under the door, and you wait to hear the rah, 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 rah sounds, and then you can come in and be safe. But you always gotta give the beast something to chew on before it's your ass.
Oh, I'm sleeping on another wing of that, and I'm just like, no, not even going anywhere near that tonight.
Oh my god, that's so funny. All right, let's call this good game, good comeback from this team. Love me some Detroit Lions and what they bring. Yeah. Hey, don't forget about us on the Patreon. It's a great place to hang out. The Slack chat is the most intelligent Lions chat on the internet. Go to patreon.com/Detroit Lions podcast, and $5 or more gets you access to the Slack chat. I think also I want to like and subscribe. I keep forgetting to tell people to do that during the show. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the show.
Just pull the audio from this and put it at the end of all my episodes, because I forget to say this stuff every single time.
God dang it.
Like, I never talk about this. I am the worst marketer in the world.
Yeah, it's like we keep doing this where it's like there is no more organic growth than this whole fucking podcast thing. We're the worst.
Everything's so completely wrong.
It was like 6 years in.
Blogs are about to die. Let's jump into that.
It's like 6 years in. People are like, have you heard of search engine optimization? Never heard of it.
Yes, they would now.
Your name was the best for it.
What a who? Yep. Well.
Seems interesting. That seems like something I should know. Oh, what? Other people are using our name to optimize their shit because we're like organically decent? Oh my god.
Hey, Detroit Lions podcast. Moving on.
Follow us on Twitter at DET Lions Podcast, DET Lions Podcast. You get all the latest breaking news and info about the show and the witty repertoire that we are known for. Also, do not follow Mr. Tweetson on Twitter. Do not follow Mr. Tweetson. He doesn't care what you have to say, what you
don't
think,
even have
what
the
you
app
do.
on my phone.
He doesn't even have the app.
If you can find me on Threads, good for you, because it is definitely not that.
A lot of people on Blue Sky have popped in and said hi and appreciate that. Although the migration has turned it into a little bit of a political place, which worries me about the future for Blue Sky. So keep Blue Sky blue and clean and nice.
It's never good when it does that.
Yeah, just keep whatever. Anyway, DET Lions Podcast. We're the same everywhere. You'll find us. Give us a call on Skype, Detroit Lions Podcast, all one word, or call us on the Lions line, 248-782-8384. That's 248 Rub You Fug. Yes, I cannot wait to see the locker room celebration. It is going to be fantastic. It's going to be a good time. Be sure to go to DetroitLionsPodcast.com. Subscribe to the podcast, and we will pop into your box automatically. You'll never even know we were there because it's right down the middle, even if it's just a couple of inches. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to see you next time on the Detroit Lions Podcast. Remember, no pants, no toasters, no hot tubs, and no problems, because we are your Detroit Lions and Reddit connection. I love you all. Love you all. Thank you. Love you, Uncle Bill.
Thank you.